All right, guys, welcome back to the Touchline Podcast presented by the Outliers. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Also, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below on this video. Before we get started, our first vlog in a while is officially out, the Bulldogs and Parramatta game. Make sure you go check that out, comment, like the video, and just go enjoy it. We're going to be covering the round that was, go through our tips, and there's some more NRL news we've got to get into. First game we're going to talk about is the Knights and the Manly game. Knights with a shock win against the Eagles. Eagles were in the lead. They had no right to lose that game, and then the Knights go and win.
Yeah, honestly, look, Manly was playing good in the first half. They were playing very, very good, and I don't know what just happened during the second half. I think they just shut down, and then Newcastle just took over the advantage, and they just started putting points, and then they just went all over them. So that was a pretty shock for everyone literally everyone that tipped for Manly to win the game. I did. Yeah. Obviously, we all did tip Manly, but I just didn't expect Newcastle was going to win like that.
Yeah, because Knights have won 8 in 9 games or something.
Yeah.
1 in 8. 1 in 8, 1 in 8 or 1 in 7. Yeah, they're in pretty bad form, and for Manly to lose the way they did was just unacceptable. And if they were to lose that game, Knights, surely Adam O'Brien would have got the sack.
Their fans started booing at half time.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was just unacceptable, like I said. And he heading into the season, I think Adam O'Brien was probably up there as the most pressured coach in the season. They started the season strong, but yeah, now they're going to a rough period and they're still struggling. I still think he's in a massive risk of losing his job. If he was to lose the next 2 games, I think he's out of the door because he's been a very lucky coach because he's been surviving a lot of games. Knights have had a few games where they should be winning. They had a good winnable run and they choked them. They lost all their games. They potentially could have been high in the table, but the way they're playing, their attack's the worst in the comp. Defensively, they're probably stronger at. But yeah, Manly, they've been inconsistent this year, as well as many other clubs, like the Broncos, the Dragons. And it's been a season where, again, the top 4 have been the ones that have been outstanding, and 5th to 13th are all battling it out. So, yeah, not a good performance from the Manly from the result that happened. If they had won it, you'd say, yeah, you know what, a good result. We got the 2 points. We move on. But, yeah, Manly got to improve a lot. I really put them in the top 4 this year. But the way they're going, they're not going to get top 4 this year. And, yeah, congrats to Knights. They needed that win. And
especially Ponga needed that last-minute try.
Yeah, what a try that
to score a try like that, being his first try all season. Good on him.
He's even struggled himself.
Yeah, he actually did. He struggled a lot this whole year as well.
He started off well.
Yeah, he did.
He's played well the last 2 years. He's been very good play. He got the Dally M, was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So it's been good, but this year he hasn't been performing. Even State of Origin, he wasn't performing. So yeah, Knights needed that win. And they take on this week? They got Roosters, so that's another.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough challenge for them.
Next game, let's talk about the Sharks and Warriors game.
Yeah, what a dominating game by Warriors, man. They just went all over them against Sharks. They actually put a pure class against them. So Wattelli, Zelezniak, Chanel, Tavita Harris, everyone played very, very good. So, but you can't look, honestly, Warriors are actually a big threat this year. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. I didn't expect that this year that Warriors...
I put my hands up, Warriors fans. I put them on a spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He did too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big prediction. Wow. That's a very bad prediction right there. Look, to be honest, I tipped Sharks that game. I thought it would be close, and I never wrote off that Warriors won't win it. I just felt that Sharks had the home advantage. But what a performance. That's putting them now as premiership favourites. I saw them winning gritty, 2 points, 4 points. They never had that big win. That's a massive win, 40 points to 10 against the Sharks, away from home. Man, Warriors are looking scary, as well as the Raiders and the Dogs. So it's going to be interesting come the end of the season, what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That top 4, man, it's a big threat because, no one didn't expect, Warriors and Bulldogs in the top 4 this year.
And Raiders too.
Yeah, obviously. But Canberra's been maybe up there ages ago, but not now. Yeah, as in, this year it happened. But I'm just saying.
What I like about the Warriors team is we've seen over the years, I think they relied, not in a bad way, they've relied a lot on Sean Johnson. And now what I'm seeing, it's a team that's playing together. So if Metcalf's out, it's not really a big loss. There's good players that can cover up. They're playing as a team. So if Metcalf isn't there, I'm pretty sure one of the 5'8" will perform up, or their hooker. It's just a team performance. Yes, they've had gritty wins, like Sammy said, but they needed this big win to really show to the NRL that they are a big force heading into the last 15 games of the season. With Sharks, I think they've dropped a bit of form in the last 2 weeks. And that's the issue with Sharks every single year we talk about them. They have a good period of form where they're playing good, they're winning games, they're scoring points. But then it goes back to stage 1 where they're just struggling to win games. And that's why everyone put them top 4, and I was putting them around 6th and 7th spot, which I think that will get there this season just because of that inconsistency we've seen for the last 3-4 years. And I don't know if they can overcome that this year. It's a bit concerning for them.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, I don't feel anyone below the top 4 right now. I don't see any of them challenging for the title. I reckon the top 4 right now are the ones that, will challenge for the title. We're let's say 5 more rounds, we hit round 20. I'm pretty sure that top 4 is going to stay the same. They're going to be climbing away from everyone. So, honestly, I think this top 4 is going to be the last 4 in the NRL season.
I hope it stays that way. I hope it stays that way because, it's going to be a big challenge as well for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because, imagine Dogs Warriors, for example, in the grand final or preliminary final, whatever it's going to be big. It's going to be a tough challenge, but we always get them over the spot. You know what I mean?
With Metcalf, last year he learnt a lot from. Was Sean Johnson playing last year?
He was last year.
So you can see he's really learnt a lot from Sean Johnson last year. He's developed a lot. Last year he had a bit of moments where you saw a play in him, but it was very up and down. And fair enough, it's his first season at the Warriors, first season in a row. But this year he's really learnt a lot. I'm not sure. I think he'll possibly be still in contact with Sean Johnson with the way he's playing. He's a very consistent player. And I think that's the reason why I feel Warriors are up there because of that consistent performance. And it's like they don't miss Sean Johnson because he's basically stepped up to the level of what Sean Johnson's been doing. So, great win to the Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. Even James Fisher-Harris, that was a good signing for him.
And
he made that right choice to go to the club.
Aaron Clark, you got Halasima. Very good team.
They got a good team. Now, again, the Bulldogs get the win against the Eels, 30 points to 12. A good King's birthday for us. We all enjoyed the night. It's always good to get a win over the Eels. Lockie Galvin scores on his debut, which is good to see. It just takes the pressure off him and off the club. But it's a very good sign. We lost against Dolphins 2 weeks before.
44-8, yeah.
We weren't playing good, but, that was a tough game in the first half. Second half, we got them. Toby Sexton played phenomenal. I think everyone in that game played good. Connor Tracy was amazing. Kiraz, Kikau, the whole team was 8 out of 10 above everything. So I'm happy for the boys. We got Rabbitohs this week.
On Sunday,
We just got to keep on building because prior to heading to this game, Raiders had won, Warriors had won. They're scoring big points. So, there was pressure on Bulldogs to step it up. We scored 30 points. We're back on first. We still got to fix our attack. We had so many chances. We could barely break the attack. Yeah. And we're talking about Eels who are 16, so it should be easy for us to pass them. Yeah. And I feel our attack's threatening when we're 40 meters from our try line rather than 10 meters. We struggle there. But yeah, man, we got the 2 points.
Yeah, credit to Parramatta Eels. I think they're really shaping to be a better team. Last week we spoke about them. First half, they were up for a very physical game for both teams. Both teams were defending well. I feel maybe, look, it was an even game first half, but second half, we just played them out of the park. They had one chance in the second half very early on, and that was the last time I saw them on their own 20-meter line. So that's something I feel experience will come into the team slowly with Parramatta Eels. They'll get used to it. The system is working nice and slowly for them. But yeah, Galvin was a light for the game yesterday. I still think it's still early days.
He only played 20 minutes.
20 minutes. It was good, good cameo for 20 minutes. Look good, look sharp. But yeah, it's only the beginning for people going crazy.
But I feel like it's people.
It's still early days.
People are overhyping him too much.
Yeah,
classic Bulldogs fans to do that.
I feel people are just making as if he's the greatest player of all time.
I know exactly.
He's gonna be probably the next big thing. But right now, you focus on the present time. He's no way
he played 20 minutes, and let's be honest, man, he's got one of the greatest players alongside him. So it's easy to look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but He'd I don't know which try it was. He'd pass, and then I think it was Burden that pass. Who scored the second last?
Harry Hayes.
Harry
Hayes was
who scored in the corner?
Was it Kikau? That one.
I think it was Kikau.
It was Kikau.
He'd passed the ball to Burden and Burden to Kikau, and then people say, "Oh, he's sister."
No, it was Connor Tracy.
Everyone's giving the credit.
Everyone's giving the credit to Galvin.
For me, Galvin's still got so much. For me to really say, yeah, this kid's the future of the game. He's got so much to prove Like
Yeah.
for me to say he's the next big thing, he's got so much to work on because when he was at Tigers, he's a good player, but I still think he's an overrated player for now. But time will tell when he'll say, yeah, he's a good
Look,
young
I
player.
agree with you, Charbel, but even Willie Mason, he even said it on the news. He's like,
Yeah.
he has to earn his spot. Like, you have to earn your position that when you're on the field, you have to do everything in your hands as well because, like, you're the big responsibility on the field. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to be a number 7, you know what I mean?
Well,
But, like, I understand that he came during the season. Like, what I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, if he did come next year, I understand. But, look, he did play very good.
yeah, he had a good.
Yeah.
It was good. very good
Everyone played well.
performance from Galvin.
And what about that hit from Marcel Montoya yesterday?
hit,
that,
yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
beautiful hit.
That was a good hit.
And look, honestly, bro, Matt Burton played very exceptional.
he was-
I think, look, to be honest, I think he didn't get the man of the match. He played
Bird
very
was my man
exceptional.
of the match too.
Kicking, his defense, the interception, everything
Yeah.
all out was actual exceptional. So,
with Galvin, before we wrap up, go to the
Yeah.
tips. Again, it was a very good performance. 20 minutes, we got to see what he's made of. Again, as Bill said, we shouldn't overhype him.
yeah.
You know, I had my, doubts him coming to the club. Not in regards to the signing, but what it will do to the club. That looks like it's shut that down for
Yeah.
now, potentially. Everyone's on board. When he scored, everyone's going on him. And that's the most important
Yeah.
thing. I'm happy that I've been proved wrong. That, look, it's only one game, but we've already seen enough that it's not going to affect us. So
Yeah.
it's good to see that, but we just can't overhype him because this guy does he just does a pass. Everyone's going crazy. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I know there's so many fans that are excited to see him, and fair enough. Like he's the next big thing, but we just got to take it as it goes because
Exactly.
he's going to have some bad games, and when we have some bad games, there's going to be people saying,
Not
why
much
did we-"
people are going to like
Everyone's
that
going to say,
either,
why
yeah.
did we get him?
That's
You
why.
know?
That's why you got to watch out. That's why he needs to take it easy. And like, I understand that the fans, like what you just said, like
Yeah.
they're all going crazy about it. But you got to think, like when you have a bad game, like what's going to happen then?
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
people are going to start overreacting and they're going to go like crazy about it and say, oh, I wish you didn't do this. I wish I didn't do that. You know, this is why now. That's why you got to earn your spot. You got to play the right role. You got to do everything you can on the field so you get everything right because, like, you have to follow Serrato's plan. Like, Serrato wants you to do everything right, and you have to understand his
Exactly.
his understandings, bro. You know
But
what I mean?
let's move on to the tips, round 15. The guest for this round is Paul. He's the guy that does our team of the week every single week. So shout out to him.
Shout out, Paul.
Shout out, Paul. And let's get into the tips, Bashara.
Thursday night game, we got Cronulla Sharks and St. George.
Okay. I'm going to go Sharks. Look, Dragons are the type of team that will turn up against Sharks and actually get the win. They turn up against the big teams. They struggle against the small
Yeah.
teams. So, but I think Sharks, man, they just lost. They need to win.
Yeah, Sharks. Probably
Yeah,
Sharks.
I'm tipping Sharks this week as well.
I don't know, something. Am I first on the tipping?
I think
I'm
you are, yeah.
first.
Right, so I'm second as well, hey.
You're third.
Ah,
Who went down?
yeah, I went a bit down.
You know
I'll
what?
get it back this week.
I'm going to go Dragons. This is a game Dragons win.
You think so?
They beat Broncos.
Yeah.
This is something Dragons do. I'm going Dragons.
Oh, you know what? Can I switch my tip for Sharks to Dragons?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to St.
I'm
George
going to
now.
go Dragons.
I feel like St. George.
Oh
I
my-
think they're gonna shock them.
On my NRL tipping, I'm going Sharks because
Yeah,
it's close, but this one I'll take the risk and go Dragons.
I agree with you, Sam. I think I'm gonna go Dragons.
Our
Though.
special
Dragons
guest-
gonna get them.
Our special guest is going for Sharks.
Okay,
Next
yeah.
game.
Next game, we got Gold Coast and Manly. I think I'm gonna start it with this. I think Manly is gonna bounce back.
Yeah, Manly and
After their
Cherry
last
Evans,
thing.
after not making
Yeah.
it, he's going to be there to prove a point. So I think Manly.
Yeah.
Manly for me.
Manly too.
Manly, our special guest, Manly.
Saturday game, we got Knights and Roosters. I think Roosters.
Sam Walker's
Sam
back,
Walker's
yeah.
returned back to the
So
squad.
Sandon Smith drops to utility.
Yeah, so I think Roosters. They're gonna
Roosters.
pump Gold Coast. I think.
Yeah,
13
probably
plus.
Roosters.
Roosters, Paul's gone Roosters as
Roosters
well.
as
2
well.
more games.
He's a Roosters man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he is, yeah.
We got Cowboys versus Dolphins.
Dolphins been looking red hot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they've
good.
actually been playing
Look,
very, very
Their
well.
coach
so-
has always been linked to clubs. You know, before Bennett left, there was
Yeah.
always some Bulldogs were interested in when we had got rid of Trent Barrett and Mick Potter.
Yeah.
He's a very good coach and he's got a good squad. And Cowboys are missing a lot of players, and I think Dolphins will continue. So Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Dolphins because there's going to be a lot of players out because of Origin. That
Yeah.
So I think Dolphins will get the win.
Dolphins, yeah. Make that
Yeah,
tweet.
the Finns.
For and Paul Dolphins.
Last game of the week, South Sydney Rabbitohs versus Bulldogs.
Dogs.
Yeah, dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs,
Big
dogs.
Big performance, 13 plus again.
Confident. Okay,
I feel
Paul's
very
going
confident.
Bulldogs. Let's move on to the first topic. We mentioned Samuel's gone bold this week. He's gone to the Dragons, but I just want to really break down, why do you think Dragons are so inconsistent? Like, what's the issue? We've been seeing this for the last 3 to 4 years. They've had McGregor as their coach. Now they've got Shane Flanagan, and just, it's like a cycle. Nothing's changing for them. Like, what's the issue, you reckon?
I think it's a mentality thing. The coach can do as much. When you lose 56-6, I think whenever you lose a massive score, you can't blame the coach. I think it's all on the players because they just capitulated. They just conceded, and that's out of the coach's control. So he can't really do anything. I think Shane Flanagan can do better. But then again, you look at the matches they've lost. They lost 1 point against Eels, 1 point against Rabbitohs, 1 point against Warriors. They're losing these games, and sometimes you got to say that these are the players falling short in these big moments. So for me, it's more of the players. Shane Flanagan, he can do better at times. Maybe fixing their attack, fixing their defense. But yeah, I think it's just a mentality thing. I think the players just, I don't know, they've got to somehow click because it's the same cycle over and over.
Now with
again.
me, I feel, look, we've seen it, as I said, before Shane Flanagan came, we saw the issue. It was the same cycle, same issue. They'll win a few good games and then they'll lose a few games. Now, I think Shane Flanagan has not a big part, but I feel he's coming to this team where he needs to fix the culture. And sadly, he hasn't done that because the same thing's happening when you sign Gutterson, you've signed Cook, Valentine Holmes, you sign good players to somehow get you in a better position. Yes, they're competing in the top 8 where previously they weren't doing that under McGregor. Was McGregor their previous coach? Yeah. So yeah, Shane Flanagan, that's the only positive where he's really got them competing for the A. They just missed it last year. They choked it the last 2 games. So in that sort of sense, he has improved them. But with the culture issue, I still think they're just mentally, I think when they're under pressure, when things are not going to the way they wanted to, if they're losing, they just capitulate and just their heads drop down. And I think Shane Flanagan should have came to this club focusing on that issue because it's been 2 years and nothing has changed in regards to that. So the players have played a massive part over the last 4 to 5 years and still the same things happening. But I think Flanagan knows that's the issue and I just feel he hasn't fixed that. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like with the Dragon situation, they're very inconsistent. They can maybe in some ways they can start a game, but they can't finish a game.
Yeah.
We've seen that many times this year. But I don't know. I couldn't really pinpoint. Maybe Cole Flanagan's the issue.
Yeah,
I think it is, yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like he
It's
knows
like
how to play, obviously, footy. But I don't think he can play to a standard where he's an elite halfback that can carry a team, that can carry wins. So he might be the issue, but then again, you can't pinpoint everything on one
got
player.
Cherry Evans on the market, so it wouldn't be a bad signing for them. But again, it's an old player. The Dragons want another old player with Cook, Holmes, and that. It's a bit of a risk, but of course, if Flanagan is the issue, like Cherry Evans is a good option.
I think, like you look at again what as you said, they've made some good signings, some experienced signings, but I think if you look at last year, they didn't have these players, but the same thing's happening. They're winning, they're losing close games, they're losing games they shouldn't win, then they're winning games they shouldn't win. So and then they've brought these players in, and the same thing's happening. So I feel like the players they brought in have just been put into this squad that they've been infected by their mentality.
Yeah.
So they're not really being able to help them to get over the line because I'm sure Shane Flanagan got these players to help them and overcome these games they should be winning. And again, as I said, it didn't work. They lost against Bunnies, Rabbitohs, Warriors
Like
by
the main
1
top
point.
teams, yeah.
So these players should be the one that are pushing them to getting over the line, and it hasn't worked out. So you're looking at these signings, they're not doing the job for you. They might do it against the Broncos, but when it matters the most, then they're not getting it done.
Go.
Yeah, I was saying, because like what you're saying about the mentality as well, but I feel like it's their structure as well. The structure's not working out either because like when they're winning like, say, 12-10 or something, that's when they start bouncing back.
Because
and
they always have good
they start
leads.
to struggle and they can't pull points and they're always like stuck in between like the 10-meter line, the 20-meter line, the 30-meter line, and they have no idea where they want to go. Like they're trying to get out of it so they can start putting points back, but I don't know, it's just the mentality is right. I think the structure and the game plan as well. I think I think Shane Flanagan, like, he's trying to help him out to get him wins and like with the top team and that. I think they're struggling a lot.
Yeah.
They're not connecting a lot too because
I think the players might. I think if they don't make the 8 this year, I think they're really in a position where they have to get a lot of players out. I think Sloan has to be one of them. I think as much as Moses Suli has been good for that, like in a way, a good player, he's got so much potential, but he's a player that's too inconsistent. I think they need to get some of these players that have been there at the club for like 4 to 5 years and start getting more of the players Shane Flanagan wants and build a few of the players from the system, from the academy, and grow a new culture. Because when you have the same players from the years when they were struggling, nothing's going to change. It's going to take time. Like we related to like the teams I support, like Arsenal, where when you have the same players, it's not going to get better until you get the players you want that's going to bind to the system. So I just feel like Sloan, he's just in the old system of previously, and he can't get away from it.
Yeah, he can't get out of it.
Sell those sort of players and grow the academy, and I think that's how Dragons become a better team.
Well, look, he did sign those 3 players. Those are his signings.
Yeah, but he's still you can't 3 players.
I
Are
know
make
3
a
players are
difference.
not. But again, just think about it. Those 3 players come in. They might have 2-3 years left in them. Let's say 2 years. They go off. So now you're looking at those signings. It hasn't gone right. They're struggling to get over the line. When these players go, you got to bring new players in. So those 3 signings could have been a success, and it still may be a success. But right now, as it looks like it, I think those 3 signings have not gone right. The way it's been through.
I don't know why they signed him. Of course, he's such a big player. You cannot not get
disappoint
it.
him.
And not that you can't just Damien Cook's on the market. You can't say no to him. He's such a big player. You need a hooker, but that's the issue with Dragons again. Like, why did you need to get Cook when Cook hasn't been performing at all this year? Little has been their best player once again, up there as top 3.
He's been playing better.
And when
Jacob
he
Little.
performs, he's scoring tries, he's creating chances, he's making meters from dummy half. So that was again, you can't miss a player like Damien Cook, but they didn't need him. I think they could have spent on some other position where it was needed.
All right.
The Dylan Brown incident. Now, he's apparently set to be suspended. Potentially, I don't know, by the time the video out, there might be a decision made, but I don't know if you saw the collision with the referee.
Yeah.
There's
we
a
all saw
potential charge on that, which
That's
I find
dumb.
ridiculous.
Stupid.
Oh,
Stupid. This just shows how shit the game is and the officiating, how terrible it is.
Yep.
Even with Kikau.
And
And
even,
Kikau just...
Yeah.
He's been
And knocked
pretty
that
good.
over.
Yeah. What'd you say about Kikau breaking before?
yeah,
that?
like, bro, I find it so stupid. Like, it wasn't his fault. Like, I know he was just trying to go for maybe a small tackle, but come on, bro. Moses milked it. Like,
He
come
did.
on.
He
He actually did.
I think he...
Yeah, so apparently,
safe
I
now.
just found out the news. They
He's
said
didn't
he's
get
not
charged.
guilty. So he's not charged. So
Yeah,
he's
which is
free to
good.
play.
Yeah, now under Dylan Brown,
Yeah.
so they go that he could have prevented from hitting the ref.
Stupid,
But
man.
like, come on, he's looking up to the ball. He's not focused on the ref.
Exactly.
He collides with him, and you're gonna give him a suspension because
Yeah,
of
Like,
that.
just to hit the ref.
It's the
Silly,
dumbest
man.
decision, and that just shows how corrupted this game is. First of all, you get the bunker making dumb decisions. Now, something like this, which is a pure accident, just
Yeah.
collides with the referee. We've seen that many times.
I mean, with Luai, he actually
Yeah, Luai
accidentally last
accidentally-
week.
nothing happened.
Exactly.
But
But
that-
why now?
I think
I don't get it.
it's so dumb. They think, as I said, they think he could have prevented from hitting him. It's just the dumbest rule, honestly.
It's so silly. Like these type of decisions like that. All right, it happens. You know, accident happens. How many times it's happened in the past?
But
in
you
the NRL
remember,
games?
what's it called? Back in 2010, the player kicked the referee's head.
Yeah, I saw.
You remember that one?
I
That was
remember
ages
that.
here. He didn't get charged because it was an accident.
It happens.
He's trying to run and get
that's
the ball.
worse than-
They're
and
too
he
soft,
kicks
man.
the-
They're too
He
soft.
kicks the head of the ref. So
But why now they have to make it that? Oh my god! I don't know what to say, man.
the game's
honestly.
getting worse.
It's actually
We've
getting
talked
worse.
about it many times.
yeah,
about
like,
I
we
know,
don't know
like-
what to say anymore because
But this one, even para fans were saying about the kick-out one, like that shouldn't have been
come
like a
on,
sin
man.
bin.
That was a milky
Like
thing.
he like he barely touched him.
Exactly.
Shouldn't
he didn't do anything wrong.
Why
Honestly,
it was a penalty? Because we've seen those contact with the leg when you kick it. If you charge it, it's a penalty.
Yeah, but he didn't barely touch him.
It's
Exactly.
a penalty, but I think that's what the refs are giving.
But at the point as well, but you know when Sutton, like when was it after when he kicked it? Who took the ball? Was it Kikau, I think?
yeah.
That's when he started calling the penalty after like a late call.
That's
I'm
my
like,
pro-
why
yeah.
would you do that? You should have just done it on the spot.
That's my problem.
How dumb can you be?
Like, personally, for me, I think it might be a penalty. He took the legs, and that's the rules. It's
But
even if it was a
you
slight.
sin bin a player for that.
No,
like
it's
that
not a
is-
sin bin.
Yeah.
It's a penalty. What annoyed me is that they go on and pass the ball, go on to the other side of the field.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We kick the ball, and then we pick the ball, and then all of a sudden he goes all the way back
to call it a penalty, and then sin bin.
sin bins him.
Like it's
Like,
just
that's terrible.
Oh man, that's
That's never, ever a sin bin, and-
Sutton doesn't even think straight. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's in a fairy tale world. Honestly,
Yeah.
You had a dinner date with him last year. Remember?
Oh, yeah,
Good
remember
Friday?
that
oh yeah, and then we end up going.
Yeah, look, we always say the same things about the ref. Until it changes, until we see improvement, we're gonna
Samuel,
always say the
let
same
me tell you something, bro. The whole system itself, it's never gonna change.
It's not
They
gonna
need
change,
to
you're
fix
right.
up
It's
this
not gonna
issue.
change. Nothing's
I'm
changing.
gonna keep calling it many times. This bunker system, this ref system, whatever it's called, you need to change it up. Stop calling these dumb decisions. If that happened, let it go. It happens. Like, but what would you call it? The last 2 minutes? Like, come on, man. Enough is enough, bro. And I'll keep saying it every time. Nothing's not going to go in their bloody damn brains, to be honest. Bloody hell.
The only way we can sort this out if we get a ref on this spot and talk to them about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Shabel. I
What
actually
ref
gonna,
do you reckon we should get?
I don't know, but we'll have to reach
Get
out
Jared
to.
Sutton.
Sudden, you reckon?
Sutton?
You want me to bloody have a beef with this guy? I think this won't last, to be honest.
No, when Sutton's on, he goes, yeah, Sudden.
No.
How's the family
We're
in
bloody
Sutton?
enemies.
Yeah, best security in the room.
No. You don't know me. You don't know me. Don't worry. You don't know me.
Well, speaking with the boys about this before the pod, Broncos apparently are rumored to have a new logo next year.
Right.
This
So
is
what it
the
looks like?
logo.
Yeah.
This one.
Show me.
This one. Yuck.
Well, are they getting rid of their colours?
Well, I'm not sure. I think this was in regards to the black jersey they had on what's it called? Saturday. They had the black jersey this week.
Yeah, the mental
yeah,
health.
They
did,
realized the
yeah.
mental health. So
But that type of logo,
they
like
might
that,
change, but the color might change. But even if the color changes, I wouldn't be happy.
I
about
don't
that.
like it.
That's
I actually don't like it. I don't rate it.
For me, the Broncos
the
logo
original.
I think they're one
is
of the best.
one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that's one of my favorite
Keep
ones.
it that way.
I
Keep
love the
it.
color.
Yes.
I just love everything about it.
But
If
that,
they change it, that's like an NFL style one. We don't want that. That's ugly.
that's like 1 out of 10.
Like now,
I'm not
look,
gonna lie.
the Titans one's
1.1.
the Titans one. The new Titans one's grew on us. Like we got used to
Yeah,
it. The Tigers
obviously,
one,
yeah.
we got used to it. But that one, I'll never get
That is
used
so
to. That.
ugly. It's
That
so
is
one-dimensional.
very ugly.
with the Tigers and
And the
Titans,
fact they got rid of the colors too.
I know, how weird.
with the Tigers, nothing changed with just the claws, and I
Yeah.
think there's still an intimidating look on it. With the Titans, yes, it took time to get used to, but this Broncos one, like you said, it's just very plain, basic.
Yeah, I know.
There's no colors into it, and if that's the color they're using, that's
Nah,
just
that-
that's
that's
terrible.
gonna look
That
like a
is
bad image
terrible.
for 'em.
It takes away everything the Bronco is.
Therefore,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the Manly, they got rid of a lot of it, but they still have the face of
Yes.
the
That's
eagle.
why you gotta keep
And
the
it's-
face the main.
When you look at that, I still see Manly. But if I look at that, I don't see the Broncos anymore. Broncos, you're supposed to have the maroon, the yellowish, the big, like the massive standout of the
Just
head.
the history of the club. Like
It just
the old days
you go
of
back to
Broncos.
Tallis, you go back to
Petro
Carroll
Sivanasiva,
and
Darren Lockyer.
Sivanasiva, all the big players. Broncos back then were like the big team, the scary
Yeah,
team, big
they
prop.
were.
When you look at that logo, you go back to all those teams. I remember I have the 04 Bulldogs CD, and the Bulldogs versed all the big forwards. Like as I said, Gordon Tallis, Carroll,
Petro
Webke,
Sivanasiva,
all these players. That's gonna kill the club and the history of what the Broncos
The
are.
fans
So,
won't be happy about that.
Yeah, it's the identity of
Especially
the club.
old,
Yeah.
the identity, especially the old fans,
Like,
they'll be pissed about that.
imagine Bulldogs had changed it to something like that,
Yeah.
with just a dog and just
They're heading
very,
in that direction with every club. They're doing
soon
it.
they'll change the
Yeah.
Bulldogs
Yeah,
one
yeah,
very
it's
soon.
But
very-
just keep the main one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just don't put any
if they
details
can
into
get
it.
if they can get the color right on that, maybe they can get it good. But yeah, overall, it's not the best.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what can you do? That's the direction everyone's heading these days.
Yeah.
Whether no one's safe, honestly.
No,
no
no
club
one's
is safe. But we'll see.
Absolutely not, but-
Watch the Bulldogs just do like a paw.
Maybe a little puppy.
That's just
Maybe
sure.
your head on it.
Thanks, Shabel.
But yeah, well, that's a wrap up for another edition of the Touchline Podcast. If you're new here, hit the like button, hit subscribe, comment down below, and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.